Hey Maya, who's this episode sponsored by?
Amazon.com.
Why?
Well, because they have a very wonderful associates program where if you bookmark my link, it's on the website, and you do all of your Amazon.com shopping through my link that you've bookmarked, I get a small commission.
What are you going to use the money for?
A sweet set of boobs.
Oh, yeah. So check that out, creatingmiah.com, and then click on the Amazon link.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome to this episode of Creating Miah. Maya, how are you doing this week?
Splendid.
How has this week gone in the world of Creating Miah?
Oh, hectic because of people like you.
Oh, my bad. We want to give a big shout out to all of our friends on Reddit.
Yes, we love Reddit. I love you. Thank you so much for making my life a complete nervous wreck.
Yeah, we didn't think that the site would become as popular as it did, as quick as it did, and we owe it all to our favorite website, Reddit. We thank everybody for coming and commenting, sharing your stories, and giving Maya encouragement.
Yes, thank you. I mean, I didn't know what to expect when I started this thing, and then with the help of Chris here making it a little bit more shareable and open, I had no idea putting this on Reddit would do this, and it's just been amazing.
This week we're going to talk a little bit about the future. One of the big issues that I think you're going to face is what do you do in the future as far as fitting into society? I mean, let's take, for instance, your job. Do you want to say what you do in a roundabout way? Don't say where you work or anything, but what do you do in general? What industry do you work in?
I'm a diagnostic HVAC technician. I work in a residential sector, so I actually have to go out to people's homes and fix their furnaces or their air conditioners, things like that. So it's a very public job, a male-dominated job. So it's going to kind of get interesting maybe with this.
Does anybody at work know that you're transitioning?
Not a clue.
Not a clue. So, I mean, how do you go to work then?
I technically never have to really ever see anybody at my job. I'm an on-call person. I work weekends, so I'm at night. I'm the only person out there. I'm my own boss pretty much, and so I put on the uniform. I follow the dress code, and I go to work. There's really no outward way that I could, easily be seen as transitioning. I think about the only thing that's super obvious is, well, the now splotchy facial hair from laser hair removal, shaved arms, and really, really thin eyebrows.
Are you conflicted at all in any way by that? Are you conflicted that you have a job where you have to present one way, and then in your personal life you present a different way?
Oh, yeah, I thought it wouldn't be that much of a problem. I didn't really know what to think. And moving into it now, it's depressing to go to work. I love my job. I love what I do. I love the company. But I feel like I'm being fake again, that I'm not being a real person again, and it's confusing to go one way and the other. I got to, be careful about what I do the day before I go to work, or I'm going to, I don't want to be found out. I don't want to cause any issues. I'm going into customers' homes, and, I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable or weirded out by the company. I don't want to hurt the company, but I don't, it's an issue there, and, nobody knows, and it's a real friendly environment. Most of our work's friends, and they hang out after work and stuff, and I can't begin to, get into that any.
So why don't you just get over it? I mean, they pay you money, and who cares if you have to be a male for 8 hours a day? Why don't you just get over it, dude?
I mean, it's kind of easy to get over, and I'm dealing with it, and I'm understanding that, yes, this is a job. It's a shitty economy. I have a job, thank God. But there's things I might want to do in the future. And this is also the other problem with the job is I've always had a very manly job. I work construction, steel, all kinds of stuff. I'll really get into that in my next blog, but this is another male type, construction, job. And that's not what I want to do. That's who I force myself to be, and careers I force myself into that are not to be, I guess, rude or arrogant, but are beneath me. I mean, I have qualifications much higher than just skilled labor. So that's another thing that kind of bugs me, is that I'm doing this full well knowing that I could make more money and do a better job doing something else.
Why don't you just present as a female and then sue the company if they have a problem with it?
That would go against my conscience and my personal belief system, is that I was hired on there as male. I knew how the system works. I know how the career field works, and to just go, hey, I'm going to be a woman now, and you have to, keep my employment and just treat it as normal. I don't think that's fair to them. I mean, I think I might get to the point where I bring it up when I get to that point where it's, maybe it's my transition's more, further along. I might bring that up to them and go, hey, what do you guys want to do about this? It's a big company. So I don't know if they're going to be accepting or not, but I'd rather not have to worry about having that job no matter which way it goes, rather than, not, losing it because of the transition and then just saying, oh, shit.
It's going to be real awkward if everybody goes to creatingmiah.com, uses the Amazon link, and then you get a big set of knockers and walk in there.
Well, that's actually kind of what I was thinking of doing. Getting to that point, and go like, okay, I have to go for surgery, and I'll be back here in about a month, guys. And then I come back in there with a big set of knockers, go, hey.
What do you want to do? I mean, you say you're not a fan of manual labor, and you like your job, but you feel like you should be doing something else. What do you want to do?
Based off previous jobs I've had and everything else, and it's politics. Ever since working on campaigns and being around in politics and everything else, that's really what I want to do. I want to work with people. I want to do things with people. I want to, I want to be a part of the community. I'd like to, maybe be able to make enough to supplement part of my income and pay for this transition off this website and some of the other little ventures I'm in. I mean, I'm a small business owner that hasn't just yet launched, but I'm hoping I can do that and be a big part of the community, a job creator, something like that, where I'm not beholden to what other people's opinion of me is.
Getting into politics, too, though, is tricky, and it's definitely the people business. And everybody's got an opinion. You know this as well as I do. So I don't want to throw cold water on your dreams here, but how are you personally going to deal with everyone having an opinion about who you are and the kind of life you're living?
Well, I've already run into a lot of that, and to a degree, and I run into it in the little circles I run in politics anyways. I mean, it's the internet. I'm running into people from all over the country, all walks of life, and for the most part, it's not a huge deal, especially with the people I want to associate with, but I do get a lot of hate. I get a lot of religious texts thrown at me. I get a lot of, you're going to hell, you heathen, abomination, and I don't really care. I mean, I understand kind of a little bit why that happens and things like that, but I'm not beholden to these people. In politics, you can make your own as long as you don't do anything stupid like sleep with a Brazilian hooker or, dress up in some weird costume and send people naked pictures. You're pretty much good to go. And I've already created a nice little name for myself as being very outspoken and very kind of what word would you use?
Scary, frightening, deranged.
Oh, come on now, it's not that bad. Well, I mean it was, but it's good as far as my political leanings and where I am. But there's one thing I have that I'll never lose, and that people always see. It's my work ethic. It's how much I put into something when that's my passion. When I'm doing it, when I'm asked to do it. For the most part, I just like a freight train. I'm just not going to stop. I'm just going to keep going. I mean, look at what we all devoted to this last campaign we were on. And, I mean, just that's what I want to do. I don't think it's ever going to really turn into real money, and that's not what it's really about. I mean, I got to be able to live and, things like that. And clothes are expensive. But that's what I want to do. I want to be involved in the community. I don't want to just sit back, make a paycheck, and watch the world just eat itself alive. I want to be one of those transgender people that changes the world around them. I want Indianapolis to be known as a very friendly place, or a place that at least understands what transgender is and, isn't, abhorred by it or just think we're a bunch of tranny hookers and she-males or something.
So does that mean that you would get involved in the LGBT fight, that you would get involved and fight for LGBT rights, or would you get involved in just the broad spectrum of politics? I mean, we're libertarians, and we make absolutely no apologies for being libertarians. We're proud libertarians. I mean, would you pursue a route where you're working in libertarian politics?
Yeah, the one issue I've thought about as far as getting involved in the LGBTQ community with politics is that I disagree with 90% of it. I don't want to petition the government for equal treatment rights. I mean, if an employer wants to, go against, be an asshole and fire somebody for being gay or trans, well, fuck them. I want everyone to know that, and I want their actions to come to light. I don't want them to be forced to, play nice, because they actually won't. You just have to be able to catch them and take them to court. I want the market to work. I want, good companies out there, and there's been quite a few of them that'll pay for GRS, and they'll pay for transitioning things through their insurance, and they welcome trans employees or LGBT employees. I want to bolster them. I don't want to tear down others necessarily. So I would stay in the realm of the libertarian politics where, go to the root of the problem. What is the problem? It's the government labeling us, and, well, let's not get into that, but it's, there's a lot of other problems, but we need to go to the root of it and fix it there, because I don't think just slapping a Band-Aid on it or writing a new piece of legislation so we're treated special or different, I don't think that's going to help in the long run.
I think there's something powerful when people demand to be treated like equals and they don't want to be treated differently. If you worked in politics and you worked a regular job and you didn't, your job wasn't, your whole identity wasn't wrapped in the T part of your life, the trans part of your life, and you're going out and you're doing something that you're passionate about, and that is just one facet of you, I think that's powerful. I think sometimes people want to take one part of their personality, one part of their identity, and live off of that one part. I mean, is that fair to say? Is that sort of... Do you understand what I mean?
Oh, completely, and that's what I see a lot of in these different sects and communities that we have in this country or this world, is that you see it in LGBTQ communities that that's why they're fighting. They're fighting for this or that reason. And sometimes I can understand that. Sometimes it's okay to be a little myopic and, focus in on something, but that's not who I am or what I do, and I'm not trans first. I'm a human first, and then I'm a libertarian. That means more to me than trans or anything else, mainly because that's my soul. That's how I interact with the world and people, and how I care about people. And, I don't want to beat people over the head with this big trans stick saying, you will accept me as who I am. And I don't want you to have the ability to hurt me, and I don't want to have the ability to force you into any corners. And that's where the libertarianism comes in, and that's what the main focus would be. So yeah, will the trans issue come up? Will I use it? Will it be a part of my daily life and speak and platforms? Of course it will. But that's because that's what I know. That's who I am. But there's no reason to focus in on it.
We're in the Midwest, all right? It's not necessarily known as a hotbed of tolerance. Very lovely people. Everyone is very friendly, but everyone is not exactly open-minded and accepting. And you mentioned you wanted to be a small business owner, you wanted to work in politics. I mean, how do you foresee going out, getting clients, becoming a small business owner? I mean, what are some of the challenges you see with that?
Oh, I could see quite a bit. I mean, I'm going to be dealing with law offices and the owners of other businesses and things like that, and I think it will be a problem. I think it might not go over real well. I mean, my business partners, that's not going to necessarily be their end. That's going to be my end to go do some of that stuff. And I see it could be a problem, but I think if I'm professional, if I don't go out there in some like pink tutu and just go weird, and I'm just, business professional dress, for the female gender, and just present my business plan and present what services I'm offering in a very professional manner, I think I'll be able to just kind of steamroll over any of the issues they may have with me being trans. Customer-wise, we do kind of plan on being a tad bit public and a tad bit social. I think with where I see Indianapolis going, I think I'll have a problem with some of the older businesses, but some of the newer clients, newer people, and younger people, I think Indianapolis is going to change, but I'm going to hope to use this as a stepping stone to show that Indianapolis isn't bigoted and old school and ignorant.
A lot of times I think people put themselves into this box, or they say it's just always going to be this way, or this is how it is. And I think what you've laid out is that I don't care how it is. I'm going to identify the people who are open, who are accepting, and publicize that and give them the kudos and take that positive route as opposed to the route where, you're an asshole and I'm going to expose you. I mean, there has to be some of that, but we also should be celebrating the people who are open and accepting and will do business with everybody, that they look at a person's soul as opposed to some sort of weird notions or something.
That's what I do. I want to hold up the companies or the people or the businesses that are positive or at least friendly. Not, I don't want them to go, hey, we love trans people. Woo! No, I just want them to be accepting and go, hey, these people run a good business. We like their business. We all have someone we know from our own community, Lisa Corbett. She does skincare, laser hair removal, stuff like that. And she's, it's not just because I kind of know her from politics, but she's very open. She wants to reach out to the LGBTQ community specifically for her services because she's had some customers come to her say about how they've been mistreated, they've been mishandled, and just not comfortable environments. Yet she's sitting there saying, hey, I'm fully open to this. I might not understand it real well. But we're discreet. I'm going to be, nice to everybody, and she's just very respectful, and she does wonderful work. And I'm working with her right now to maybe do some advertising for her. And that's kind of the I pat your back, you pat mine, where she does some amazing work, and she's a very welcoming environment. So I'm going to do what I can to make sure she gets as much business as possible. And that'll be kind of what we do. And I think that's what we do as libertarians is we find someone that's doing a good job, good work, good business, welcoming environment, and we want to promote them whenever we can, and we don't want to be negative all the time and say, well, that company sucks, and then not say who's good.
And I actually wrote down before, just in case we talked about Lisa Corbett. Lisa's out in Plainfield, and her address is 2680 East Main Street, Suite 119, Plainfield, Indiana, 46168. Her website is Corbett Lasers, Corbit lasers.com, and her phone number is 317-837-4944. What treatments have you done with Lisa at this point?
So far, I've done just kind of a trial run, but I did a one-hole treatment on a full face for laser hair removal, and and this isn't a bad way, this is actually a good thing. I kind of look like I have mange on my face. Lots of patches of just completely missing hair, and if you've been to the website, you've seen that before and after picture. I'm kind of caveman lumberjack-ish. She's helped me. She's building prices specifically for like full body treatments for people, trans or whatever. And so I'm excited to go back to her and see what else she can do with that very painful laser.
You were really actually pretty excited about that. I mean, what did the laser treatment mean for you? I mean, was that sort of like almost a ritual, one of the first rituals that you've done on your transition?
Yeah, that's the first major thing I've done. I mean, taking hormones is one thing, but laser hair removal, that's kind of a big step. I mean, that's kind of almost a medical procedure, and that's something long-lasting. It's not necessarily permanent, but it's long-lasting, and, it's body hair. That's a huge thing in the trans community for, going to male or going to female. You either want to lose all your hair or you want to grow some. So it's kind of crazy, and it's like I said, it's a big step because, if I have this patchy hair, it's visible if I'm not covered up with makeup, but I can't cover up with makeup all the time. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I'm really getting out there now, and this is happening. So it was definitely a big milestone.
Yeah, you were pretty excited about it. Do you find it hypocritical, though, that you don't present at work?
Yes and no. If I had a job where you could dictate your own, if it was business casual or something, but I have a uniform, and there's a very strict dress code that we all abide by. So no, I mean, considering it's uniformed and everything else, no, not really. I mean, you can't have jewelry because I work with machinery. You can't do this. You can't do that. So no, I mean, it's fine. I mean, technically, I guess my attitude at work's changed a little bit, and I don't see a lot of them, so it's not as bad as I guess it could be in a lot of other places. But no, I don't think it's hypocritical.
And I think a lot of it's just jewelry and dress up anyways. I mean, I don't mean that in a trans way. I mean, You are who you are no matter what you're wearing. No matter what outfit you're wearing, you are who you are, and you feel the way you feel. And you are Miah when you're at work in a uniform or when you're at home. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's all about presentation, how you present yourself. It doesn't necessarily matter with the clothes. I mean, you could, I always wore just button-up shirts, plain block colors and things. I like color. I like things. I like all shiny stuff. And so the clothes can help you present yourself to everyone around you. I mean, when you wear casual stuff, business stuff, when I still get disgusted when people wear sweatpants and like sleepwear at a Walmart. So I mean, it's on that level. But no, you are who you are no matter what. And going to work, I mean, I can technically be myself to a degree, but you're right.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate it. And this has been another episode of Creating Miah. This podcast is produced by What is a Hoosier Productions.